Welcome. This is the Phoenix Business Inc. overview on the SAP Business ByDesign integration add-on to third-party expense management systems. As the name indicates, this add-on is to integrate third-party expense file data into SAP Business ByDesign. So this would be maybe an example would be Expensify or some other third-party expense management system where your employees are managing expenses and then posting those expenses and getting approval. And then you want to take those expenses into ByDesign and create a payable to reimburse the company. Or in the case of perhaps American Express, you would bring them in and then you would actually clear the American Express statement against that vendor. Let's see how it works. We're in ByDesign. We have the expenses add-on. And the first step we are going to do is to define our expense types. This is a very simple operation where we're merely identifying the expense IDs or expense names that are in our external system, and then we map them to the GL alias within Business ByDesign. We also have the ability to map the usage as well for reporting. So once that is configured, you are going to do a file upload. It is a very simple file that is in CSV format. We also have the ability to use web services. In this example, we will be uploading from a flat file. This simple format lets us identify the items that were in the expenses we're going to bring in. Notice we can associate with cost center and project ID, as well as the company ID. Once these files have been defined, we're going to upload them. So it's a simple process. You're going to come in, you're going to add the file, read the file, then you're going to review the entry, and you'll see that when they're brought in, it's just reading it, and we'll see that this one is inconsistent. That's okay. I'm going to create the expense entry anyways. Notice my ability at this point to edit the data before it goes into the next step. So once the files have been and expenses have been created, it's very easy to then put them in here and create the payable. So you can select 1 or 1,000 of these. It creates the payable for me. We'll generate this journal entry. So it's very simple. You'll see that this payable has been created. If I go down into this item here, this one was not successful. And so this is nice because we have a consistency checker. We see that there's an invalid entry. And when I brought this in, I had not correctly coded this. And I actually have correctly coded it now, so I'm just going to check the consistency. But it gives the idea here is that you can come in and edit and verify the data that's been loaded into your system before you create the posting. So it just simplifies. We want to front end the compliance and the checking. And from here I can create the payable, or I could also set up a schedule. So we can automate these, the creation of payables. We can also automate the upload of the data. I'll check consistency again. We'll see it's consistent, and now I can create the payable. If we wanted to do a new expense from scratch, if I had to do something manually, I have an editor that lets me create an expense manually. And of course, when we do that, all the auditing will be changed. So we are creating an expense, but you will still have full auditing and transparency as to that creation of that expense. We also have the ability to have consistency check run and a payables run. So one thing we can do is we can set it up that, for example, if you're uploading your files every morning, you could then have a consistency check run that automatically triggers and a payables run that automatically triggers. Using web services, we can set this to be a fully automated process where you're merely coming in to review the data, checking and correcting the ones which have error. And that is our integration with third-party expense management systems.